Deandre Davis, part owner of My Walk is Different, and I'm here with
Dr.Alexander, pastor of New Light Family Christian Center and owner and founder of Care Institute of Detroit.
And I thought that it was great to give him an interview. And I know that I've been speaking with you guys about being transparent, so I couldn't come on, my platform and not be transparent. So this year I had got put on probation for DWI. A lot of things happened, and it shouldn't have. And when the judge gave me the probation, and then he told me the class I had to take, it kind of had me feel some type of way, because I know that I don't have a drinking problem, but I also understand that I should have never been put in that situation. So one of my classes I had with this man, and I don't mean to seem like I was bored from the situation that I was in, but when he got to saying his story, and my mind goes instantly towards my brand and what it represents, and what he was saying and the things that he had to go through in his life to get to where he is now, I felt like was very rare, and it was definitely in need of an interview for My Walk is Different. So I'm just gonna pass over to him and allow him to kind of give you the story that he gave us the other day, and just sit back and watch.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to be part of your platform, and we certainly commend you for what you're doing in the community. We know that anytime you have a young brother that's trying to be a plus and not a minus in our community, it's worth applause. I had an opportunity to meet you in a situation that was probably God sent, but we take what we get and we build from those and develop good relationships. I think if I understand that you were sort of moved by the testimony of my life experience,
yes,
what I was sharing was the fact that transparency seemed to be the greatest gift that we do have. I was sharing with the young man in the course that he was in that I am recovering from a series of substances. I've been clean. I'll be kicking off 37 years in a few weeks. And that's through the grace of a loving God and the deliverance of God, and through some other resources such as 12-step programs and friends and family members. But it didn't start off that way. And I was sharing with the group how devastating substances had been in my life. I shared with them that as early as I can remember, substances played a part in my life. I remember as a child, even coming down the steps, 4, 5, 6 years old, seeing drinks on the table by way of my father and my uncles and my aunts. And it was the social drinks, they were a social setting, so I had this enticement or this desire to have a drink. I remember sneaking sips of their drinks as they were departing out of our homes on those weekend social events. So substances in some part has been a part of my life. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that they would be the most prominent part of my life.
Right.
I had no idea they would be raping and roguing me of some significant portions of my life. And I shared with the group that from early teenage to early adult, I draw a blank because those years were consumed with substances. Mm-hmm. So for me, like many people can look back and celebrate their teenage years and celebrate running across the football field and mm-hmm. celebrating homegoing. Those aren't things that I could have provided anybody with, those kind of references, because I don't remember them, nor did I probably participate in them.
Yeah. Wow. So with that being said, what put you in a position to where you are now, where you're helping, it's not only the youth, you're helping adults as well, through this trying time in their life. So what put you in a position to be able to do this?
Well, some people come into this field by virtue of personal experience with themselves or personal experience with another individual. But there are people who come into this field who just have a calling,
yeah.
And I have a calling to be here, for lack of better words. The Lord spoke to me in the wee hours of my deliverance, and he shared with me what I would be doing after he cleaned me up. So what I do is not a task. It's not for money. It's not to gain economic success. I do this because I owe God.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing, man. I feel like a lot of people, if they took what God was giving them and could turn things into something positive, I will hope everybody answers that calling. The world would be a much better place if everybody just it's more easier said than done, but just do what God kind of designed them to do. So I don't think it was by chance that me and you got a chance to meet. I believe that God designed this, and he played the point guard, like he used basketball analogy sometimes.
Yeah.
But he played the point guard and setting the situation up, and me not understanding. Like I said, when I had got put on probation, the first thing I'm thinking of is they about to put me on a bunch of classes, and I don't have a drinking problem, I don't have a substance abuse problem, but the fact that I didn't even say that, I didn't want to verbalize and say that, and the fact that things just continue to go, and now I'm here, and just the fact that your story struck me in the type of way that it did was definitely me letting me know that God had his hand on this. So I appreciate you even sitting down talking to me about your story and about how you got into this.
I didn't bring it with me, and that's my error, but I have a book out that's called The Shadows Beneath the Pews, the assault against the church by the spirit of addiction. And what that book really talks about is the impact of addiction across the community as a whole. And let it be known that addiction is more than just chemicals, you know, that sometimes we can become addicted to just the essence of pain. The dysfunctionality in our family, in our culture, in our social identity, the imprint of what we think is normal is actually abnormal, and what we think is abnormal we make normal.
100%.
So my claim to fame is to help debunk those dysfunctional ideologies in our community, and to try to get somebody somehow, sometime, some way to recognize the greatness in them. That's why I embrace what you're doing. That's why I was willing to sit down.
I appreciate it, man, because I feel like my brand kind of, what I built it for was it, for giving people strength. I feel like a lot of people that I do interviews with show perseverance through situations, and that people may not identify with, but the story is moving to you, or people you may identify with the story in question, and it moves you that way as well. So my brand is about strength. And my walk is different. It's a Christian brand, but I also want people that's not Christian to feel like they can wear it and feel like they can have, power with wearing my brand. So this is the reason why I brought it. And I actually have something for you. I had to guess your size, but I got you a large in one of my shirts.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's so kind of you.
Yeah.
That's kind of you.
So
we got to make sure that we move in a rapid way with promoting and supporting the brother. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, but I do want to embrace it. Let's take a look at it and see what we have here.
And while you're doing, I just want to ask you 2 questions. This is how I end my interviews usually. So my first question is, when you hear my walk is different, what comes to mind?
Destiny.
That's the first.
Destiny.
That's the first. You want to kind of...
Yeah.
Explain on it?
Because I always have always, that's awesome. Thank you so very much.
No problem.
I always believe that you can look at a flower bed from a distance and see the beauty in it. But the closer you get to it, you see the ugliness of every flower.
Okay.
That they're wrinkled, bent over, have no real design to them.
Yeah.
But from abroad, the unity of their texture and the unity of their shape produces a beauty. I say that to tell people that each flower has its own destiny, and it has its own responsibility to collectively show beauty.
Wow.
So when you show me my walk is different, the word for me kicks out. My destiny is different.
Okay, I like that one. That's the first. Make sure y'all write that down. That's the first answer I got like that. And my last question I have is, how do you feel like your walk is different?
Well, I won't say it's different, but I will say it's been interesting. When I say not different, my walk is a walk with God. So if I'm walking with God, I receive the same rewards that everyone else is entitled to.
Right.
In terms of the diversity of it. The interesting part about it is the fact that I shared with you earlier that I owe God. And because I owe him, there's a debt that can't be paid. But as I continue to try to pay it, he continues to bless me abundantly, more than I can ever understand. If that's clear.
No, for sure, crystal clear. And I kind of just want to share it to people and let them know that, like I said, this is a Christian brand, and this is the first setting to where I'm inside of a church, and so this interview will be a little different than the others. But I believe that God put me here for a reason. He didn't give me this brand just so I could have it, just to wear things. He didn't give me the brand to become, a millionaire within, a couple years. Because I tell people all the time, when you start a clothing brand, you can't expect to make money right off the rip. So I felt like what God gave me this for was for me to kind of utilize my tools and the things that my trials and my tribulations and things I went through to get to where I need to go in life. And also just giving other people, gems and sharing with people and making sure that they don't stumble over the same things that I stumbled over. So that's what I hope to do with these interviews. And I appreciate y'all for listening. If you want to go on my website at www.mywalkisdifferent.com to get some more merch. I also have a spring is coming, so our merch will drop soon. We have a special collections. One of our special collections that I'm really excited about is I Am Enough. That's our women collection. And I'll kind of give you more information on that as I get more information about the dates and when it will drop and all that. But just stay tuned and make sure you continue to, just have a better look on life, man. Understand that the same way that you look at your life, someone else could look at it in a different way. So just make sure you're transparent and be able to share your testimony with people. And I'm sure that, you'll change somebody's life. So like I said, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to come here and just
appreciate you inviting us. We really appreciate it, and we look forward and we ask God to put his hand on your creation. We ask God to put his hand on you.
Something to lose, something to prove. You think you can do what I do, then walk in my shoes. You think you can do what I do, then walk in my shoes. Yeah, y'all barely move, I'm kinda confused. I got something to lose and something to prove. You think you can do what I do, then walk in my shoes. You think you can do what I do, then